It's the Christian Kid, and I'm going to be doing day 15 of our book, How to Relate to Impossible People. So today's is actually really interesting, and a lot of people deal with this. A lot of people have a lot of problems with this, and it's very relevant in today's world. Pretty much everybody has had an issue with this at some point in your life. It doesn't have to be long term, it can be just like over an issue or something, but today's Bible study is on mastering your anger. So there's one story in particular in the Bible that really talks a lot about mastering your anger and the consequences of not mastering your anger and learning to control it, and what happens when you don't control it. A lot of bad things can happen. So we're actually going to go through this and look and see what this all has. And I'm pretty sure you guys are all thinking about the same thing that I am, but it's the story of Cain and Abel, and it's right in the beginning of the Bible. It's in the very first book, almost right at the very beginning of the very first book, but it is chapter 4, and we're going to be looking and focusing on verses 1 to 16, which is pretty much the whole thing. So I will read it to you, and then we'll pray, we'll go through questions, and if we have time, we can do a little bit of stuff that's at the end. So, reading chapter 4, verses 1 to 16. Now Adam had sexual relations with his wife, Eve, and she became pregnant. When she gave birth to Cain, she said, "With the Lord's help, I have produced a man." Later she gave birth to his brother named Abel. When they grew up, Abel became a shepherd, while Cain cultivated the ground. When it was time to harvest, Cain presented some of his crops as a gift to the Lord. Abel also brought a gift, his best of the firstborn lambs from the flock. The Lord accepted Abel and his gift, but did not accept Cain and his gift. This made Cain very angry, and he looked dejected. "Why are you so angry?" the Lord asked Cain. "Why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you do what's right, but if you refuse to do what's right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at your door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be its master." One day, Cain suggested to his brother, "Let's go out to the fields." And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Afterward, the Lord asked Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" "I don't know," Cain responded. "Am I my brother's guardian?" But the Lord said, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are cursed and banished from the ground which has swallowed your brother's blood. No longer will the ground yield good crops for you, no matter how hard you work. From now on, you will be a homeless wanderer on the earth." Cain replied to the Lord, "My punishment is too great for me to bear. You have banished me from the land and your presence. You have made me a homeless wanderer. Anyone who finds me will kill me." The Lord replied, "No, for I will give a sevenfold punishment to anyone who kills you." Then the Lord put a mark on Cain to warn anyone who might try to kill him. So Cain left the Lord's presence and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. I'm really sorry. I don't understand why I'm having problems reading. My tongue just won't function today. So, we'll go to the questions. So that was all about Cain and Abel. I'm really sorry. So it was about Cain and Abel, and so the Lord had accepted Abel's sacrifice that he made to God, and he didn't accept his brother Cain's sacrifice to him, mainly because stuff that we'll go over in the questions, and you'll see. I'll explain it to you. It's actually quite interesting, but it's really kind of simple to understand. I will kind of explain some things that I think that are underlying Cain's decision, why he did some of this stuff, but we'll get in there. So, first of all, we have to pray. So, the first thing that it says is pray for the power to master your anger. So, like I said, a lot of people have a lot of problems with dealing with their angers. And, people get angry all the time. People bug them, or something goes wrong, and people get upset and angry and they get mad. And that is something that happens. And it's okay to be upset, and it's okay to be mad at something, but you have to learn to control it, and don't let it get really out of control. So, an example of, say, controlling your anger is, say something goes wrong and something doesn't work out the way that you want it to, and you're already having a bad day. So instead of throwing it, whatever you're doing, instead of throwing something and breaking it and possibly hitting somebody else and maybe hurting yourself, you can kind of back up, take a few breaths, and try again. Or you can choose to step away from it for a while and do something else that you really enjoy to kind of get rid of that angry feeling. So kind of control it. You can pray too, and ask God to help you control it. So let's pray. So dear God, we're coming to you today to ask you that in any time or any situation that may come to us where we may get angry or upset or mad, and we just want to blow up and have a whole hissy fit, that you will help us to control our anger, and that we will control it in a way that you will see fit, and that something doesn't blow way out of proportion, like what happened with Cain and Abel. So we don't hurt others and ourselves and go against what you say. In your name, amen. So, first question is, both brothers offered sacrifices to God, but why was Cain angry towards Abel? And it's very simple. I say there's 4 reasons. Abel gave his best. He gave the firstborn of the lambs of his flock. Firstborn, the babies, everybody thinks, oh, the babies are so cute and everything, why would you want to hurt them? And people are like, they're so cute and fluffy, and pat them and hold them and squeeze them and everything. And I'm sure that's what he was thinking too, maybe. But instead of thinking that, he thought, this is a firstborn. This is the best that I have. This is obviously something that everybody wouldn't give. So he said, this is what I'm going to give to God. So that's what he did. He gave one of the firstborns of his flock to God. That was his sacrifice. Cain, on the other hand, gave basically whatever was left, lying around, or in other words, leftover. And, I think this whole thing was a test for them to see where they were standing. Faith, relationship with God, all this other stuff. And just to see where they would go, and what path they would take, and what they would do. And I think it's a huge test. And we get tests like that all the time, even now from God. Like for example, we get an extra little bit of money. What do we do with it? You know, do we give it to our offering? Do we give it to God? Or do we just be like, oh, well, I want, a burger at McDonald's because I'm hungry. Number 3 is God accepted it because it was his best. And then, Cain just didn't think about that. He didn't think the way that Abel was. Cain and Abel thought like two different ends of the spectrum, and I think God knew that, and that's why he tested them. So the second, and then I was add there that when the underlying cause, I think, for him being angry at Abel was underlying jealousy and anger. I mean, it's all under there. Yeah, it's not cool. So the second one is, the Lord sternly warned Cain about his anger. Describe Cain's response. Well, for starters, Cain tried to hide it from God that he had killed his brother, and lied to him and said, I don't know, and what do you think? God lied to his keeper? So he did throw in some sarcasm to God too, which is probably not a good idea. And he tried to hide it. He threw in sarcasm, which, it's not cool. It's not cool. Just, it's not easy to fess up to things, but, So the third question is, Cain tried to cover up the murder, but he could not hide it. How did God punish him? So, first of all, God cursed him. He banished him from the ground that he was working on, and because he banished him and cursed him from the ground that he worked with would not yield any more crops for him, good crops, no matter how hard he worked. He threw everything and anything in his power to try and get them to grow, but it wasn't going to happen. All because of this. The ground swallowed his brother's blood, and murder is against God's commandments. And he said that he was going to be a homeless wanderer on the earth. So basically, he was going to wander the earth, and he wasn't going to have a place to stay. He wasn't going to have a home. He wasn't going to have anything. Basically, that's what it was. He was going to have nothing. And Cain thought it was way too much for him to bear. And he thought that, the people were going to try and kill him and everything. But God said no, that wasn't going to happen. That nobody was going to try and kill him because God wouldn't allow it. Even though Cain had made a very big mistake, he's still one of God's kids. And so God didn't want other people to murder him. So God had put a mark on Cain that told everybody else, and anybody who wanted to kill him, that, they weren't to touch him. And God said that he was going to bring a 7-fold punishment on the person who did, if they did. So, there's huge punishment that's there. And, murder is pretty harsh. But did you know that murder can also be something like somebody saying, I hate you? Something as simple as that. The words, I hate you, can be murder because it hurts. It's like a stabbing knife. And, it really can bring you down. So, I'm just running short on time. But what we need to do is we need to pray to control our temper. So just remember to pray that and everything. And I hope that you enjoy this. And I hope that you'll come back and enjoy some more videos. And I hope to see you soon with our next video. Day 16, I believe. Alright. Thanks. Bye.